just got done interviewing the Calvin Stewart after his AEW Dark debut. We talk about his upbringing, what got him into wrestling, his hobbies growing up, which included building wrestling rings. We covered his previous training, his time at Flatbacks Wrestling School, which is run by Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze. And then we really dig into his AEW Dark debut, what was going through his head, and just everything going on that day. And at the end, we had some quick fire questions. And if you enjoyed this interview, we're going to have it available on my personal YouTube channel. And I am David. I am 1/3 of the Gent. So I'll be throwing this video onto the Gent's YouTube channel. So if you're not yet subscribed over there, go ahead and do that. We're also going to have this available in podcast version, which you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on the Anchor app. So once we get that completed, it will be in the description below. You can go and subscribe on those platforms as well. So without further ado, here is Calvin Stewart.
Alright, you got the shots in there.
Oh, dang it. Did it really? No. Oh, man. Not known. Alright. We finally got him. It took forever, but this guy, it's hard to reach him nowadays.
It is. Very busy man over here.
Alright. All the way from Westbury, New Massachusetts. He's 6'1". He's 43 years old. Wait, that's John Cena. My bad. I got Calvin Stewart.
What is up? What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good.
We did some action outside of this video, but you know. Okay. All right. So, give us a little brief history about your childhood, your upbringing.
All right. So I was born and raised in Georgetown, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I'm built from Prince Edward Island, Canada, because my family, or ancestors, really came from Scotland to Prince Edward Island, down to the Boston area. So I've gone up there every year of my life. So it's basically like a second home to me.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know.
Man, I googled Prince Edward Islands. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Most beautiful place in the world.
I want to go there. It's like
It's
like those gosh, it's like a movie. It really is.
It is. Yeah, the soil there is red.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you don't find that too many places on the earth. So yeah, it's just beautiful farmland, beautiful landscape. The beaches are magnificent. There's actually this beach up there. It has this white sand, and if you listen closely, it like makes like a singing type sort of noise.
Okay.
It's weird. But it's very unique, and I love Prince Edward Island.
Yeah,
it's basically home to me.
If you just imagine like a cliff and the light post and like the perfect that's Prince Edward Island right there.
Yes.
So okay, that's awesome, man. What got you into wrestling?
All right. So
what's the first match you remember? What got you into wrestling? What's the first match
so I guess I'll start with the first match I remember. I don't know. I'll start with how I got into wrestling.
Okay.
So my parents, my dad's a family and child therapist, and so he was very keen on no violence and stuff like that. So I wasn't even allowed to watch Power Rangers. I was like 9, 10 years old. Like it was ridiculous. But anyways, I used to go over to my friend's house, and I saw wrestling a couple other times in front of like a PS like Vita or whatever it was, very early on. And like after school, we used to play it and stuff. So that was my like first introduction to wrestling. And then I used to go over to my friend's house, and we would play SmackDown versus Raw. I think it was 2009, 2010 on his Xbox. So then that's what kind of got me into wrestling. And then we started watching it over there. But the first match I really remember like sitting down and watching is I remember going on YouTube, and Rey Mysterio was like, I don't know, the coolest to me at the time. So the mask, and I was a kid, so obviously he's the coolest with all the colors and stuff. So I googled Rey Mysterio, and the first match I remember seeing is Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc. I forget what year it was. But,
was it when he was wearing the purple?
Yes, when he was wearing the purple.
Yeah. It's very iconic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was. First match I saw, I was just memorized by that, and then since then I just became obsessed with it. Like I couldn't watch Raw on Mondays because my bedtime was early, so I used to have to wait until Wednesday after like the Monday Raw was on, because Raw was there at 9. I used to watch the replay on the Spanish channel, which started at like 7 and able to die. So yeah, over in Spanish, no idea what they were talking about, but my way of watching wrestling. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Like those Spanish commentators, they always got their table broken. It was always them.
Always the Spanish. never the English announcers.
Yeah,
they must be like Vince's favorite or something.
Yeah. Oh man. So you couldn't watch it. You found loopholes and ways to get there.
Yeah. And actually, before, my parents didn't even want me to watch it at first, so I figured out we had like a passcode on our TV.
Jeez.
So I figured that out, and then I would type it in, and then whenever like my parents walked in, I would just switch it to like Cartoon Network or something like that. I wasn't doing anything, and yeah.
Hey man, some of those Cartoon Network shows are probably worse than wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So you've had training before. How old were you when you had your first match, and what was it like?
All right. So when I had my first like official match was when I was 18. I was at CZW Dojo Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I drove down there with we packed my car full of like, I have a small car. It's a coupe, 2 doors, so it sits about 5 people. So we packed my car full of people, and everyone else was booked in that car except for me. So we drove 5.5 hours down to CZW Dojo Wars. I wasn't even booked. I was just going for the experience and connections and stuff, and I used to backyard wrestle with some of the people that were down there. Mm-hmm. So I just went down there to see them and stuff, and just by going down there, I ended up getting booked on the show because at that time, literally the week before, I got the go ahead to start, working shows and wrestling, and so yeah, I got booked on the show. And,
there you go.
Yeah, so that was my first match. My first training experience though was when I was 15 years old. I trained for that whole summer at New England Pro Wrestling Academy. So that was a wild experience, and I didn't quite understand what I was getting myself into until like a little bit older. But, but yeah.
Man, back to packing your car. That just goes to show you never know when the opportunity's going to come because you weren't even booked.
Yeah, I just went down there and like I introduced myself to everyone. That's what I was taught, and a little bit later they put me on the show. So yeah.
So you started at 15.
Yeah,
it's like you kind of feel invincible at that age. Even now at 19, I feel like I don't know, but that's crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, I built my first ring when I was 14, so I don't know. I didn't know how to bump or anything, but I was out there bumping on the ring and stuff. So, but doesn't get properly trained if you're watching this because you don't want to start just doing stuff on your own because that's how you can mess yourself up.
So you built your own rings? Like, how did you even learn to do that?
All right,
tell me.
So it first started with, I don't know. I watched all like the Hardy Boys and stuff like that, and how they got their start. And they built rings in their backyard. So I was like, I want to be a wrestler. So I got to build a ring in my backyard. Mm-hmm. So I looked up videos on YouTube, actually. Mm-hmm. And then from the videos on YouTube, basically kind of formed it into my own design and stuff like that. I've built 4 rings since the first one I built. The first one I built was 12 by 12 feet, and it had wooden posts, and we ordered, it was made out of 2x4s and plywood and stuff, and we ordered these custom brackets from this wrestling company called Monster Rings and Cages. But the ropes, they broke because of the tension of the ropes, or the post broke because of the tension of the ropes. So that had to make me, rethink my design, and go back to the drawing board. And so every time I built a new ring, it just got better and better and better.
Man, so it seems like there's a lot of trial and error involved in that, and just knowing how to just do things. Like, I'm not that much of a handyman. I can do the basic stuff. But you had to really learn how to be a carpenter, a welder, everything. It's
pretty a bunch of people in my family are carpenters and stuff like that. So I already had some, prior experience going into it. Mm-hmm.
So you built the ring, and they're in your backyard?
Yes.
Would the neighborhood kids come around and
Yeah. So at that time, I wish the neighborhood kids would come around. At that time, when I originally got into wrestling, when I was 9, 10 years old, all my friends in my neighborhood were into it and stuff like that. And then by the time I got into it and became obsessed with it, which wasn't even probably 6 months after they got me into it, they all got out of it.
Oh, wow.
And I used to watch like Lucha Libre, Impact, like any wrestling I could. Like, it's wrestling, it's awesome. And like they would just be like, no, it's WWE. That's it. All this other stuff sucks. And I was like, all right, guys. And then they all got out of it, and then I kind of stopped hanging out with them, and then I switched schools in 2012.
Okay.
So I was no longer going to public school in my hometown. I was going to a private school that was like 40 minutes away. So I didn't really have too many friends. I had no friends in that liked wrestling, to be honest. So I would have like a couple people I met, come over and stuff like that. But that was pretty much it. I never had that like full group of friends to like backyard wrestle with, which kind of sucked. But yeah, it was still fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you said, talking about no friends. Growing up, I really didn't have friends that watched wrestling, but oddly enough, my family as a group, we all liked it. So how does your family like? Now they obviously didn't want you to watch it growing up, and now you're already watching it. So how do they feel about wrestling?
Yeah. So none of my family is into it. So my family consists of my twin sister and my mom and my dad, and that's it. So none of them were wrestling fans before I got into it. It was kind of my own discovery, my own sort of, I'll buy the paper, like beg them to buy the pay-per-views. I'd be the only one watching them and stuff. But yeah, they weren't really too keen on it. But my dad and my family, I guess, they're always supportive in whatever I wanted to do. And they would support me in whatever it was, which I've like realized like, through other friends and stuff. Like I'm grateful that they like allow me to do it, because I've met other people before, and they wanted to be wrestlers, and their family like shuts them down and like think it's like ridiculous and stuff. And I've experienced that with some like extended family and stuff like that. But my immediate family has always supported me. My dad used to take me to wrestling shows all the time in the Boston Garden. Or just local independent shows, or he even took me to just to watch wrestling, just to watch Raw. We went out to Chicago at the Allstate Arena before. We went to Wisconsin, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Like,
you guys traveled that far just to go to
a show?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Dad and son road trips. So
that's like the fun part about wrestling. This road trip with your friends. And with you with your dad. And that's awesome.
And like my dad's like, he's not into wrestling at all, but he loves it. I'm so passionate about it. And so I love my dad so much. He's number one supporter. So
man, growing up, I couldn't go to shows, and like I was like, man, I want to go so bad. Like we couldn't afford to go. We could barely afford the pay-per-views. Like I had to beg. And so it was pretty cool when I finally got to take my dad to a Raw live event. Now. When they were traveling, anytime they were in Tulsa or Little Rock, I'm like, we're going. And that's pretty cool that your dad. And that's like kind of, was it just you two? Or your?
Yeah, it was just me and my dad. My dad, the first event I went to was the Royal Rumble in 2011. It was a 40-man Royal Rumble, and I was 10 years old at the time.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I remember it was just me and him. We got seats in the balcony. The things I specifically remember that is I thought Randy Orton was looking at me because I had an RKO sign, but I was on the balcony, so I know he was. But when he got up on the ropes and did his pose, I remember him looking at me, and then I remember crying at the end of that because Alberto Del Rio won, and I hated Alberto Del Rio and my boy Mysterio. So
oh man, hey, he probably looks at he probably soaks it in just as much as the fans do. Oh man, so we met each other through Flatbacks. Through the school. How did you come to be at Flatbacks?
So I decided I wanted to go to Flatbacks, I think of January of this year. Then all the coronavirus stuff hit, and I guess that kind of set me back because I wasn't really sure how, like, especially when things are really bad right now, but then when they were really, really bad at the beginning and stuff, like, I didn't even know if you could like leave your house or stuff like that. So I pushed it off a couple classes until I finally came to, just decided to go to this one. Excuse me. And
and for people that don't know, Flatbacks is a wrestling school here in the Poplar, Florida. It's run by Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears. Did that have an influence, having two people from 2 different companies.
Yeah, that definitely did, because I've been to a few different wrestling schools, and most of the ones I've been by, not like discrediting them, but it's been by people that have never been signed or have never they've worked for the top companies, but they've never been signed to the top companies. Mm-hmm. So, and I've gone to seminars before with people that are signed, and just their way of explaining stuff and just their energy towards wrestling is a lot different, I feel like. So that definitely had a big influence in me choosing Flatbacks.
Okay. Yeah, and actually I've been to a couple of wrestling schools too, and one thing that sticks about Flatbacks is how clean and professional it is.
Yeah.
So, man, just like the restrooms are clean. Like
the
first wrestling school I went to, the restroom looked like it had never been cleaned in like 10 years. So, man, that just goes to show how professional it is, so that they have a clean facility, a nice ring, and, you walk in and it's a lot of merchandise, like everything they've done, the walls are decorated. How did that affect you? What was your, when you first stepped into the building, your impression?
I just had like a smile on my face.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, this is really happening with these people, and I was just happy to be there, just learning from the best, because it's like I want to be the best I can for pro wrestling and myself. So just all around happiness walking in there and seeing all the stuff, especially like the superstars, WWE.
Yeah, the flags,
just everything,
Yeah. It's definitely it's weird, and day one, Billy Gunn walks in. It's like, it's Billy Gunn.
Yep.
Cool. Oh man. All right. So before we talk about your AEW Dark appearance, we'll get there. Let's say before this, you were doing indie shows, and of course, you're a wrestler, and all the wrestlers have a fanny pack. What does Calvin Stewart carry in his fanny pack?
All right. I guess the things Calvin Stewart carries in his fanny pack is his wallet.
Okay, very important.
First of all, his phone, his keys to his car.
Okay.
And for a little bit, I was carrying some chapstick.
Hey, that's important. You don't want to meet people with chapstick,
especially in the cold in New England. Chapstick always, 24/7.
Man, do you carry any snacks in there?
I didn't carry any snacks. I'm not much of a snacker. I mostly just have a protein shake or something like that to try to fill me up. Even though I feel like when I drink protein shakes, they don't fill me up completely.
Yeah.
But I try to convince myself that I am, so I don't eat unhealthy stuff.
Oh man, I usually carry a protein bar, just because you never know how shows will want. If you get pushed up the car or whatever, or you never know.
Yep.
Especially if you show up early, help put up the ring. You don't got time to go get food.
Yep.
So, all right, man. So let's talk about it. Finally, your AEW Dark debut. Man, let's talk about the day of. You woke up. Go.
All right. The day of, I woke up, was rushing to get ready because time for me is not a problem, but I don't know. I wake up in the morning, I rush, and I'm stressed out about being on time and stuff because we had to go in the morning there to get COVID tested before the show, early in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. We had to go get COVID tested, and before the call time, which was later on. So I wake up, I get ready, I get my suit on, I'm looking all professional and stuff. I get in my car, I drive the 2 hours to Jacksonville from Orlando. I get there, wait around a little bit, and then it's COVID test time, so you'll get COVID tested. I'm good with that, passed it, everything in that. Then basically after that, I just kind of chilled out in my car.
Okay.
I just kind of waited for call time. And when call time came around, I went into the parking lot. And when I got there, they have this face scan temperature thing. So just mind blowing completely. And they were asking me what I was there for. And I was like, extra work, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I was trying to explain what I was there for, Justin Roberts walks in. So then he's like, yeah, I'll show you, I'll introduce you to whatever. So then he introduced me to Christopher Daniels, who's one of the talent people. Yeah. So I was mind blown already. And Christopher Daniels introduced me to QT Marshall, who's the extra talent. person there or whatever. And yeah, he said just like, you know, chill around and, you know, so, but it was a very chill environment. Like you could say hi to everybody there. It was the most, like in all of the places I've been wrestling, which not saying I haven't been a lot of places, but all the companies I've been to like before, even though they responded, like this is I felt like the most like welcome there.
That's good.
And just like the all around vibe was just like positive, and everyone was happy to be there. It seemed like, and you could, yeah, like go up and talk to anyone. Like I had a full on conversation with Myro or Rusev, Miro or however my dyslexia kicking in. But yeah, man, it's awesome.
All right, so you're there, you're meeting people. You find out you're gonna face the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah,
man, how do you mentally prepare for that? Like, they're scary looking men.
Yeah, so. I mean, first when I even saw that I had a match, I was like, holy crap, like, this is happening. Like, I'm gonna be on AEW. Like, yeah, just insane. But then also after I had my little moment of holy crap, it's like it's time to focus. You know, because I got to get in that zone for the match and stuff. Because everything's got to go, you know, to my liking, to everyone else's liking. So I got to get in that zone. And yeah, I don't know. Facing the Butcher and the Blade, it's not an easy task. So yeah, I don't even know how I prepared that. I just kind of went up. I was, you know, I put all my faith and trust in Puff. Okay.
Oh man.
He had my back, you know, so I that made me a little bit more confident going in there, but you know, you also can't lack in confidence when you're facing someone of that caliber. So
they'll probably like sniff it out.
Yeah, they'll sniff it out and they'll attack any weaknesses you show to them. So, you know, you gotta be strong and you gotta look strong. So,
oh man.
Yeah.
So when you and Puff make your entrance and he's dancing, are you much of a dancer? What was going on?
I'm not much of a dancer, to be honest. I've had my fair share of parties, but I'm not a dancer. So, I didn't know. I've seen Puff do some independent stuff, but not for like a while. So I didn't know what he was going to do on his entrance. We didn't really talk about it before. But yeah, he came out and he started dancing and stuff. So I just tried to play off his energy and yeah, just let him do his thing.
Do you guys have a pre-match donut? Did that hype you up?
You know what? We didn't have a pre-match donut. But if I was going to have a pre-match donut, it would be from Nutrition Solutions. Yes. Plug in everything. But they have the most delicious protein donuts ever. And I would recommend signing up for them if you want to get your meals on track and your life on track.
I can vouch for that too. I had the Nutrition Solutions. It was like coconut donut. It was amazing.
Yes. So good.
Man, so the music hits. You guys make your entrance. You're up there. You know, you're raging on the top row. But then the bell rings. Oh, they didn't let the bell ring.
No, that's
they just
came out. They started attacking us. You know,
man,
hit me a few times. Threw his jacket on me. Next thing I was in the other corner, just getting the crap kicked out of me.
I feel like watching it happened so fast. And if you guys haven't watched it, I'll plug it below. That match, the AEW Dark with the timestamp, so you can skip straight to his match.
1740.
17, he already knows it. Man, yeah, so that part where you just get ambushed and stuff, like, man.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being in the corner, just fists flying at you, man, being picked up.
Backbreaker, suplex, chopped,
man. Everything
in the book, choked on the ropes, you name it. It happened to me.
And to top it off, they have a manager on the side.
Yes.
And one of the toughest managers in AEW probably.
Eddie Kingston. He got a cheap shot on me.
Oh, man.
Eddie Kingston, you watch. Payback's coming eventually. Soon. Sometime soon.
Heard it here.
It's coming. You heard it here first.
Oh, man. So, you guys gave your best effort. Like, there's only so much you could have done. Like,
It's the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, you took quite a beating, but you know, Puff, he did his stuff, and it just wasn't enough. You know, like how do you take this experience, everything you learned from that day, from the match itself, like what lessons can you pull from that day in general?
Lessons to pull is haven't really thought about that too much, but I mean, lessons is you learn every day from everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially that, like, don't lack in confidence and believe in yourself, and give it your all every time you're doing whatever it is you want to do, whatever your passion is. Even if you're not doing your passion, like just try to give everything your all. Hard work pays off, I guess I would be like.
It does.
And also when the hard work does pay off, it's just like even more motivation to work even harder to get to that next step that you want to be at.
It's like you've had a taste for it.
Yeah.
And now you want it all.
Yes. Now you want more. Now you want that contract.
Do you think time fleeting is also like a lesson? Like you found out you're going to be on Dark, it happened, and now you're looking back and you're like, man, that was...
Yeah, like I found out like, so that was on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I found out the Monday night before, so things can literally happen.
Oh wow!
Just like that.
That was
like,
pretty quick.
Yeah, and like so, always be prepared, always be ready, and also like don't doubt yourself. Just have full confidence.
Honestly, the correlation between this and the first time you went with your cooped up car, loaded car, it's like the same. You know, like you carry this throughout your whole time.
Yeah. Patterns.
Yeah, definitely patterns.
Crazy.
Oh man. So what's next for Calvin Stewart? You know, people have a 5-year plan. What do you have? Like how far out are you looking? Are you just taking it day by day?
I mean, I guess like a little bit of both. Like I've also learned like don't set goals too high for yourself, because if you want, you know, everything. Like if I said I was going to go to AEW, I'm going to go there and get signed. Like, you want to have that mentality, but you shouldn't expect it to happen. Because, like, I mean, it could happen, but obviously it's probably not going to happen. So don't count yourself on just one thing. Like, just be open to everything. And, yeah, I guess take it day by day. Okay. That's kind of how I look at, like, for me, day by day is just working as hard as I can to be the best professional wrestler I can be. So whether that's like training, eating right, or a little bit of a cheat day today.
Oh,
eating right.
Man, and you know what? I can vouch for that, because this guy hit me up and said, "Hey, let's run." And I don't know how much we ran. 3 miles, 3.5, 4 miles. I think it was 4. Yeah. It was 4 miles. And have you ever ran 4 miles? Was that your first time?
Yeah, not in a while, to be honest. I need to get back into, you know, running more often, because I mean, it's hard and it's challenging, but at the end I feel good. Like afterwards, after it's all said and done, you know, I feel good afterwards. So it's definitely
for me, I run, you know, for cardiovascular reasons, but it also helps me clear my head. Like, I feel like I have a clouded head and I run, like, I'm not even thinking about, like, maybe I do think about things, but I can sort things out and it just
I feel the same way too.
And I can also vouch that we've hit a couple of hit days at the gym. We did a Seth Rollins, he gave me a Dead Boy fitness workout that I did with him, and we've been doing it at the gym, and it's tough, definitely.
Yeah, it is. It's fun at the same time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you feel good afterwards for sure. Let's see. Anything else you want to talk about, man? Like I feel like you gotta have something just like anything. Pull it out.
Talk about. I mean, I do have some independent stuff coming up, but
we'll plug stuff after. Okay, outside of wrestling, what do you like outside of wrestling?
What do I like outside of wrestling?
Yeah,
I like music.
Okay,
I'm a big Travis Scott fan. I've been to a bunch of his concerts, and just him as like all around person and performer is what I look up to. Just the energy he brings every time he's on the stage and stuff like that, you know, it's the same kind of energy you want to bring when you're in like the wrestling ring, if that makes sense. Like, he's his best and he's in his element when he's on stage. That's how I think everyone should be when they're wrestling. So
I forgot which wrestler I watched, but they did an interview, and before they wrestle, they watch like live bands on like YouTube and just see how much fun they're having and like living in the moment. They're just So I can definitely see that correlation. And did you try the Travis Scott burger?
I did. I have tried it.
Oh man, what do they call it?
This is the Travis Scott meal. That's it. That's you pull up to McDonald's. Give me the Travis Scott meal. Boom.
It's lit.
Yeah, it is lit.
Oh man. But yeah, actually, he's very man. The way he markets himself and just cross platforms, everything like with the Fortnite game and the McDonald's, it's like man, he really took like anybody else. Not I'm not saying anybody else, but most people could have done this, but they didn't.
Yeah,
but Travis Scott did.
Yeah, and like also like I've noticed that since like early on too. Like he's involved in not just his music, but when he's doing a concert, he's involved in how the lights look, how every set should go, like the music and stuff, when the pyro should go off. You know, like he's involved in every single little detail and everything that goes on.
Yeah.
So he's a very good businessman. He's very passionate about everything he does. So yeah.
Let's see. Okay, now that before I ask you the question, is there anything else like you want to any topics you want to talk about real quick?
I mean, I love video games. I know people have been debating on the Xbox Series X and the PS5, but I've decided my first console was the Wii, and I got the Xbox 360, and then last gen I got the Xbox One on release day, and the Kinect broke on me 2 days into having it, so I did get a PS4 during that. I also got a Switch too, so I have it all. But next gen I'm going with the PS5.
Yes. I'm getting a PS5. I'm gonna add you as a friend.
Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna game every single night.
Not every night. Oh man, yeah.
I'm gonna beat him in FIFA.
Oh no, that's a no for sure, sir. All right. So you have the privilege of being the last person interviewed with 100 random questions for a wrestling fan. After I'm done asking you these questions, I'm not going to ask you the 400.
Okay.
But we are going to reset this list of questions, and so yeah, you're the last person. We saved the best for last.
Feel honored, yes.
All right, so let's see. Question 1. Let's see. I'm going to pick a random one. All right, most underrated wrestler, in your opinion. Underrated.
I would say Trent Beretta when he was in WWE.
Okay.
I feel like he was very underrated. But someone underrated, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure about now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, favorite heel.
Favorite heel? Chris Jericho, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was he doing then?
He was coming out to, he was with the Big Show at one point. He was just kind of like when he would cut promos and stuff, he would be like, quiet.
Yeah. Man, that was good. That was good stuff. All right, favorite face.
Favorite phase? Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Best movie you've seen that has a wrestler involved.
Best movie I've seen that has a wrestler involved? Does The Rock count?
Yeah.
I literally saw Jumanji 3 times because I'm not gonna get into what was going on at the time, but I just saw it a bunch of times. So that movie, I kind of liked it after seeing it a few different times. So
okay, actually, I actually never thought about this question myself. Yeah. For me, it would have been that Roddy Piper movie. There was a movie where he's has the glasses on, and he can see the media saying one thing, and he put the glasses on, and he sees the truth.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh, I need to show you this.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, and it's so relatable to the world nowadays. It's they put an ad there, he puts the glasses on, and it's don't think for yourself. Yeah, so and then people are reading the newspaper and it says lies. Your money is your king and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
that does sound pretty interesting.
All right, so your amount. Oh, actually, my favorite. I'm gonna go ahead and answer this question because what was that one with The Rock when he was had a daughter and he played for in the NFL? Gosh, what was that movie?
Tooth Fairy.
Was it the Tooth Fairy?
I don't know. He had a daughter in that.
Oh man,
Oh, I know what you're talking
Game
about.
Plan?
Game Plan, something like that.
Yeah. That I watched that movie like 5 times a week when it was like that year. Like, man, I watched it a lot. And I can't remember the name of it. It's like the Brain Fart or something.
Yeah.
All right. So, who was on your Mount Rushmore of WWE?
Who's on my Mount Rushmore?
Mm-hmm.
I would say Edge, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy. CM Punk, probably.
Okay.
Even though he's not wrestling anymore.
Mm-hmm. Very influential, all of them.
Yes.
Is there really? I don't know how many people were on the Mount Rushmore.
I have no idea.
So
I'm not good at history.
We'll say 4 or 5. Let's see. Your favorite promo by a wrestler?
Favorite promo by a wrestler? As a kid, I always loved the CM Punk pipe bomb.
Oh yeah,
because that was to me watching wrestling, that was the craziest thing to happen that time. Now there's not really too many memorable promos I could think of in the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any one of MJF's promos though is so good. And if you watch him, it's just he has a natural charisma and just ability to speak.
Mm-hmm.
All his promos I can get invested in whenever I'm watching.
Okay. What was your favorite wrestling theme song of all time?
Of all time? Man, I like so many theme songs.
I know. I'm thinking about it now, man.
All right. No one addresses this, I don't think. But all Eddie Guerrero's theme songs, all absolute fire.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite theme song would probably be CM Punk's first theme song, "This Fire Burns."
Oh yeah,
by Kill Switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's very heavy, and I love the pause in it. He goes up on the ropes and he's like, "Yeah," or whatever. It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering.
Yeah, but yeah, I love that theme song.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Actually, this isn't on here, but I'm gonna ask you: would you ever do a death match, like a hardcore death match?
I've thought about it. I would, but I don't want to do anything with glass.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to get your point across with deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah.
I feel like you can do it as a boys.
Okay. One wrestler that you could never get tired of watching?
Probably Edge, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whether he's a healer or babyface, he's just so good. He loves wrestling, so I feel like you can see that in his work.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, man. We'll end it with this last one. What's the best faction in your opinion?
Best faction?
Mm-hmm.
Either the Shield or the Nexus.
Okay. Around the same time a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, the Shield. Very good. Yeah. Just done.
You need a deck of Lima Delta. Shield. Yeah.
I have both versions of the song, the Roman Reigns version and the Shield version in my workout playlist.
They're so good to work out to. Any wrestling theme song pretty much I can work out to. It gives you this natural adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's a mark, but it's true. We're all marked, so it's okay.
Yeah, there's no way you could be in it and not be one.
Exactly.
Favorite tag team of all time? I said I was going to end it before, but now.
No. Ask away. Favorite tag team of all time?
Man, there's so many too.
I've said it a bunch before, and I kind of want to come up with something different. I love the Hardy Boys because they're so innovative and they do so much, but name anybody else. I like the Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, yeah.
Impact, yeah.
Alex Shelley and
I forget the name.
Man, me too. This happens to me every time. Gosh,
something.
I always get so much slack for it too.
People are gonna be
Oh, man. No, you have no idea. I get asked this question like once a month at least. They're like, "Who was this tag team partner?" I'm like, "Oh man, I always get it." Like, I would say I'll remember, but man,
it's out. I don't know. It's out.
Man. All right, are you a fan of outdoor wrestling?
Oh, Alex and Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin, yes. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I was like, what? I was like, I knew it was something with the S for the last name, and I was like, how am I forgetting this? I liked his singles run too, Impact. I liked his gear. And I don't know, I thought it was cool.
Are you a fan of outdoor wrestling events?
I am a fan. I mean, going up to Prince Edward Island and stuff, and just being like outdoors up there. I think it would be super cool. Always super cool to have shows, whether it's at the highest level or at the lowest level, outdoors when the sun's setting.
Oh, that's
just
awesome.
Just a nice summer's day where it's not too hot, not too cold, and there's just wrestling going on. Just peaceful and relaxing.
Have you done one yet? An outdoor wrestling event?
I have actually. Okay. I did one in Waterbury, Maine. I think it was, and it was like in the daytime, steaming hot sun. I used to backyard wrestle outdoors too.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah,
definitely have. And
yeah, the only thing when I used to do that one time, I was super. I didn't drink a lot of water that day, so I was like super dehydrated. And for like the backyard wrestling show, we were doing like 2 matches in that day. So we had like a big multi-man match, and then we had like a Royal Rumble type match. I was in the Rumble for a while, and I remember on one of the bumps, I was just so tired. My head went back, and I hit the mat, and I blacked out for a second. And that's what I recall from that. So drink plenty of water if you're doing an outdoor show. Yeah,
that's for sure. Actually, I debuted on an outdoor show, so in the rodeo, and
4,000 people.
Yeah,
plus.
Man. Yeah, it was. Yeah. The number gets mixed around every now and then. People it goes from like 3,000 to like 6,000. So
4,000.
I just go with the middle, like 4,000 people. But man, so
a few years from 6,000 people.
Yeah.
If anyone else,
keep going up every time. All right, now finally we're going to the end of this podcast. I don't know how far we've gone. Like I cannot see the time on there. So give me your plugs. Like, where can the people find you?
Okay, so my Instagram is the C Stewart, TheCstewart, and my Twitter's the same thing, except there's an extra T on the end. And, those are the 2 social media platforms I use right now.
So the C Stewart and then the C Stewart, 2 T's.
Yeah, 2 T's. Yeah, it's that.
Somebody else already had it.
Yeah, so they don't have it on. I have it on Instagram, but someone else had it on Twitter. So
what?
Yeah, some chick or something too.
Oh,
yeah. So
it's probably the Christina Stewart. Man,
it's okay. Something else is coming real soon, so those may not be sticking around for a little while.
So follow that now, so you know where to find it, and I'll update it eventually on the show notes and the video. You said you got some indie bookings already?
Yeah, so I've got a text from a couple different people. I have the dates, but I don't know the name of the promotions.
Okay.
So it's a little bit funky. I don't want to talk too much about them, but
yeah.
I know it's going to be in Orlando. So definitely look out.
Yeah, so if you follow his page and all that, you'll
definitely know. I'll be promoting it. I'll probably be on when all the stuff is printed out. I'll be on it.
Man.
And I hope to just get on more indie shows, coming up, especially after Flatbacks and things like that. Will definitely be popping up more places.
Yeah,
next.
Definitely gonna keep an eye on your career because man, whenever I first met you, I'm like not to like whatever, but I was like, I'm like this kid. I knew you were good, so. Honestly, just off your knee pads, I'm like he's got legit. Like, what is it, main? What's the wrestling? High spots?
Yeah, high spots.
Yeah. Knee pads. I'm like, okay, this kid knows something. Like, oh man, and you were so nice too. Like I knew I could just talk to you, and I'm like, okay, he's cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, keep out for his indie bookings, man. I can't wait for shows to happen. I'm ready to go out there.
I can't wait to start.
It's like
shows.
It's like they gave us the tools. Now it's just up to us to go and use it.
Yeah,
so, man. I miss crowds. I don't know how shows are going to be like. Man.
Yeah, I don't even know like for the stuff in Orlando, whenever that show. I don't even know if there's going to be crowds there because Florida has some crazy rules right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't want to get sick.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully there's precautions taken, which there definitely will.
Yeah, and I've been to a couple of shows that so far, and it seems like if they got an open ventilation and they can separate chairs and all that, like hand sanitizer, I think it should be good. For the most part.
That's what I was saying at AEW too.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to someone there, and I was like, "This place is a legit. Daly's place it's legit perfect because it's indoors, but it's outdoors. So it's like, it's when it rains out there, like you can still feel some rain, like a little bit of rain coming in, but it's closed off and stuff. But it's a perfect place for wrestling.
I know this is the ending of the podcast, but I forgot to ask you, how hot was it?
I don't remember. It was pretty hot out. It was probably definitely in the 80s.
And you were wearing a suit for some of it.
Yeah, I was wearing a suit for the whole time I showed up there.
You're brave. I'll try to send me a picture of you in your suit. I don't know if you took one.
Yeah, I definitely did.
I'll put it up, and you can see this man was fully suited up.
Yes.
Dressed for the job you definitely want.
Yes. Always.
Oh man! All right, thanks, Cam. It's been Calvin. It's been nice. It's been nice meeting you, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Man,
super busy.
I'll direct deposit you later. Okay. All right, thanks, Cam.
Yeah, thank you for having me, bro.
We're shaking hands.
Shake hands. I don't know.
All right.
With COVID stuff, we should do that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, boom.
We'll edit that out. All right, thanks. Oh, that's fun, man. Honestly, I could have talked to you forever.
Yeah.
Imagine if I